Hi folks, Daniel here, and I've got a 3-part series for you. Today I'm going to show you something I do every year or two on my car, and that is a full paint correction and ceramic coating. We're going to cover decontamination, paint correction, and ceramic coating all up next. Now this video is for somebody that's not a professional, but also not the person that just takes their car to the drive-through car wash. That's something that I would never do anymore after I've seen the effects on the paint of many cars. But I know that's not for everybody. I mean, we don't all have the time, the money, and some of us just don't care enough to do more than that. But I really love taking care of my car. I find it really satisfying. And so I find ways to take care of it the best I can. But with that said, yes, we all have limitations, and I want to specify before I get into any of the stuff about car detailing is there are many levels to choose from on how detailed you go with taking care of your car's paint. As I said, you've got the people that want to go through the drive-through car wash, there's people that are going to wash their car with Dawn soap, and then there's people that are going to spend thousands of dollars on products to take care of their car. And I have to admit, there's probably a law of diminishing returns, and I love to do things in moderation. So I do spend a little more money than the average person and a little more time than the average person taking care of my car, and I believe I take care of it to a slightly higher level. But there's always going to be somebody who thinks that you need to take care of it to another step above. So I understand that, and keep that in mind. But if you're going to comment below, which I know a lot of you are going to want to, you want to say, hey, that product sucks, this one's even better, and this one's even better, and whatnot. But it's okay. I know there's probably better products than what I use today, and there's probably a lot worse products too, right? You just need to recognize that not everybody has the money or time or labor or skill to do all the things that some people want to do to their car. I mean, I admit, I would love to spend a couple $1,000s on a fully filtered, garage-mounted power washing system, but I don't. Instead, I spend $130 on a power washer I got off of Amazon. And it works for me, and that's what's really important. You need to do what works for you when taking care of your car, whether it's grabbing stuff off the shelf at AutoZone or ordering specialty products like an $850 wax off of Chemical Guys.
What did you say?
So here we are in video 1, where we're going to decontaminate the paint, or some people will say strip wash. And what that means is we're gonna wash it a little beyond what a normal wash would be, and use some products that might, pull off a few more of the chemicals and maybe try to break down any waxes that might be on the paint. Now my car is ceramic coated, I don't have wax. That's the point of ceramic coating, is so you don't need to wax. But today's strip wash is, it can be done with Dawn soap if you want, although some people say it leaves a film. I'm just gonna do a regular wash with a little bit of all-purpose cleaner in my soap solution and wash it down, and then cover it with Iron X to get any of the iron deposits that might have collected on my car. And then after that, I'm gonna clay bar it. I'm not gonna show you every minute of it, but most importantly, I'm gonna hit up the most important elements of it so you understand the big picture of the process and enough information for you to take it on yourself. This first step's actually sort of easy. It's just a little labor intensive in the sense that you're almost washing the car 2 or 3 times all at once. Now once you get the washing done, the car's pretty much gonna stay in the garage or under covered shade if you have that. Otherwise, it's only gonna come out in the sun to do some quick checks of the paint under the sun's light to see if I'd missed any spots. But this is a process that's gonna take 2 to 3 days for me. I'm gonna work on it maybe 4 to 6 hours a day. And so I need to kind of make sure I've got a schedule open to do that I have another car if needed to go places, maybe to get other supplies or just to get some food. But it is coronavirus season, so there's not much going on. I don't really need to go anywhere. I'm fully stocked. So I should be able to knock this out in the next 2 or 3 days and things will be good. The other thing is try to make sure it's not gonna rain because like I said, you may wanna pull the car out every now and then to take a look at the paint under the sun. All right, enough talking about all those details. Let's just get to the first process, the decontamination. Okay, here are the products we're gonna use for our decontamination wash and clay bar. I'm gonna cover all these items throughout the video, and you can find links to them in the description below. As for my scrubbing tools, I use the Microfiber Madness mitt, as well as shown here is an old AutoZone microfiber mitt, which I don't really use anymore. I've replaced with Microfiber Madness. The wheel woolies are really great brushes. I also have a woolly mitt and the brush to scrub the tires. Now, Meguiar's Super Degreaser is a great all-purpose cleaner. I buy it by the gallon because I use it for all sorts of things. I've even cleaned my grout with it. For this wash, we're gonna put a little bit in the bucket along with our normal wash, which is CarPro Reset. It may seem kind of pricey for this little bottle, but you only need 500-to-1 dilution ratio. That's less than a shot glass per 5-gallon bucket of water. I'm pretty sure I put more than a shot glass in there. So these two combined will be great for the decontamination wash, and I'll do a similar ratio of product in my Snow Foam Cannon bottle. I'll connect my Sunjoe power washer. This is a great power washer, tons of great reviews, and only about 130 bucks on Amazon. We always wash the wheels first and get those out of the way. They are the dirtiest part of the car. I'll spray them off, foam cannon them, and scrub them down. The brush for the tire, the wheel woolies for the wheel, or I'll use my wheel mitt. Either way, I get into every detail inside and out. I use a separate bucket of suds for the wheels too. Never use that water on your paint. Next, I'll switch over to the pressure wand and spray off the wheels, and while I'm at it, I'm gonna go ahead and spray off the entire car from top to bottom to get all the loose contaminants off the car before we soap it down. We always go from top to bottom, assuming the top of the car is cleaner than the bottom, and we want all contaminants to flow downhill. All right, now check out this on the back of the car. See how the water is sheeting? It's sort of sticking to itself. And this adhesion is because the surface isn't as smooth and water repellent as it should be because the ceramic coating has failed or worn off. The back of the car gets the dirtiest and wears the coating off the fastest. So you can see that, and that's one of the reasons why we are doing this whole process. I could just recoat the back of the car, but I want to go all out and redo the whole car. Look at the side of the car. See how the water is so much more beaded? That's because the coating is holding up in those areas. It's not holding up in the high wear areas, like here behind the front wheel. See the sheeting in this area? This part is covered in paint protection film, so it just shows that the sealant has worn off in this area. All right, we'll get the Snow Foam Cannon on and we'll spray down the whole car. The Snow Foam Cannon is so great because it covers every inch of the car, and the soap gets a chance to sit there and dwell and suck up those contaminants and sort of start to drain off. I love it. It also saves me a step. A lot of people use a 3-bucket method, one for wheels, one for suds, and one for rinsing your sponges off. I prefer to skip the rinse bucket and just have enough sponges so that I never have to rinse them. I actually have 4 sponges in all. That means 8 sides, and I can break the car into 8 sections and just scrub down the soapy car with soapy sponges. This is what I prefer, but a lot of people prefer the 3-bucket method. Now I'll spray down the car with the power washer, get all of the suds off, and it should be mostly clean. Again, we do the top to bottom wash. Now I'm gonna dry it off, but I'm not gonna try too hard because we are going to get it wet again in our next step using Iron X. Iron X is a chemical designed to grab onto iron, contaminants, and particles on your paint and wheels and pull them off the car. It's safe for your paint, but you don't want to leave it on there. It says to wash the surface and then spray it on there and wait 3 to 5 minutes, then give it a good scrub and rinse it off. And that's what we're gonna do. So get your trigger finger ready and start spraying. I ended up using about half a liter of this stuff. Be sure to get the cherry scented one because the regular scented one smells awful. I used a lot. This was about 3/4 full when we started. Now I'm gonna go ahead and rinse my sponges, the ones I'm using for this wash at least. I usually would just wash them in the washer at this point, but I'm gonna go ahead and use them again to scrub down the Iron X'd car. This will agitate the Iron X and get any contaminants that are trying to stick to the car off. What you'll see as you rinse off the car is your car's bleeding. No, it's not really bleeding. It's just the Iron X reacting with the iron materials on the car. You'll get a lot of it off the wheels, of course. That's where most of mine came from, but some comes off the paint. The more the better in a way. It shows that there was a lot of contaminants on your car. My car didn't have much because I keep it pretty clean and it is garaged. Now we'll go ahead and do a complete drying. I'm just gonna use this towel. I usually use a better towel. I would prefer to use a leaf blower, but I have yet to buy one. Don't forget to do the door jambs as well. And of course, in the trunk area, open up the trunk, dry it off. You'll see lots of water dripping off. Again, I'm not really worried about the towel I'm using because we are going to correct the paint after this anyway. So there's a lot of special techniques that I just kind of skip over for the decontamination wash. And if you have access to compressed air, it's really great for getting water out of those tight spots. All right, we have strip washed or done a decontamination wash on our car, and the next step is to clay bar. But I thought I could get all this done in one video, but unfortunately, I think you don't want to sit through a 25-minute video, so I decided to split episode 1 into 2 parts for this 3-part series. Does that make sense? Okay, so take a break, go get a beer, and when you're ready, come back and click this link. See you then.